Today's thought is a little progress every day adds up to big results. Good morning, students. Welcome back. I hope all of you are safe and fit at home, studying well, and completing your work on time. This video is for the students of class 8, subject English. And today we shall cover one chapter of our textbook, that is Honeydew. This is my chapter number 5, and the name of the chapter is The Summit Within. It is written by none other than the famous writer H.P.S. Ahluwalia. This is my lecture number 1 of the same chapter. This chapter is taken from Honeydew book. Students, we shall cover this chapter in 2 lectures. So today in this video, we shall learn or read about the author, objectives, main key points of the chapter, and detailed explanation with word meanings. Before start reading the chapter in detail, let me tell you about the author first. Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia was a member of the first successful Indian expedition to Mount Everest in 1965. Expedition means a journey undertaken by a group of people with a particular purpose. He climbed the Mount Everest on 29th May 1965 along with his friends Rawat and Pudorji. In the Indo-Pakistan War of 1965, he was injured and confined to a wheelchair. Confined means restricted in area or volume. He is the recipient of several awards like Padma Bhushan, Arjun Award, the National Award for the best work done in the field of disability. He won the Tenzing Norgay National Adventure Award for Lifetime Achievement on August 29, 2009. He has written several books like Higher Than Everest, Beyond the Himalayas, and Everest is Within You. On May 29, 1953, Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay became the first to reach the summit of Mount Everest, which stands 29,500 feet above sea level. The two mountaineers spent only about 15 minutes on the snow-covered summit. Tenzing, a Nepalese Sherpa, also left some of the sweets as a Buddhist offering, and Hilary, a beekeeper from the New Zealand, placed a cross nearby. So this was all about the author. Let's see what are the objectives of this chapter. Number 1. To make the students learn to develop the ability to understand the difficult situations in their life. Number 2. To help them to cope with the problems of life. Number 3. To enable the students to share their personal experiences. Number 4. To sensitize the students to the feelings of an individual. Number 5. To enable them to use new words and phrases in their own language. Number 6. To enable them to express themselves in grammatically correct language. So these were objectives. So let's see what are the main key points of the chapter. Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia was a member of the first successful expedition to Mount Everest in 1965. The author H.P.S. Ahluwalia has narrated his experience of climbing the summit of Everest. As the author stood on the summit, many emotions surged through him. Of all the emotions, the dominant one was humility. Humility means the quality of having a modest. Climbing the summit of Everest provides a deep sense of joy which lasts a lifetime and changes the climber completely. According to the author, there is another summit, the summit of mind, that is more difficult to climb. After getting down from the summit, the author questioned himself as to why people climb mountains. The mountain presents great difficulties. Man takes delight in overcoming obstacles. There are three qualities that played a major role in climbing, that is endurance, persistence and willpower. From childhood, the author has been attracted by the mountains. Mountains are nature at its best. Mountains are a means of communion. Communion means the sharing or exchanging of thoughts and feeling with God. Adventure is risky but pleasurable. It is a brutal means harsh struggle with rock and ice. It gives the sense of a battle fought and won, a feeling of victory and of happiness. So these were the key points. So now let's see what is there in the chapter to know about it. Let's see the brief introduction. Major HPS Ahluwalia was a member of the first successful Indian expedition of Mount Everest in 1965. In this lesson, he tells us how he felt as he stood on the Everest. A question arises: how did he feel when he stood on the highest point in the world? Or how do you feel when you will stand on the highest point in the world? So let us hear his story in his words. Climbing the summit and then the more difficult task of climbing the summit within. To know about it, what is there in the story, let's read the chapter in detail. Of all the emotions which surged through me as I stood on the summit of Everest, looking over miles of panorama below us. So here the meaning of surged means arose suddenly. Meaning of summit means the highest point, and the meaning of panorama means view of wide area. The dominant one, I think, was humility. Means the power, means the best power was the humility. The physical in me seemed to say, thank God, it's all over. However, instead of being jubilant means very happy because of success, there was a tinge, tinge of sadness. Tinge means here shade of sadness. Was it because I had already done the ultimate in climbing and there would. As I look back at life after climbing Everest, I cannot help remarking about the other summit, the summit of mind. No less formidable and no easier to climb. Here, the meaning of formidable means respect. So, what writer he wants to say? A lifelong joy. Ahluwalia says that after climbing Everest, he felt a deep sense of joy. This joy was to last the rest of his life. He also felt thankful to God. Ahluwalia had climbed a summit, but he thought of another summit. This was the summit of mind. Even when getting down from the summit, once the physical exhaustion had gone, exhaustion means tiredness, fatigue. I began asking myself the question why I had climbed Everest. Why did the act of reaching the summit have such a hold on my imagination? It was already a thing of the past, something had gone yesterday. With every passing day, it would become more remote, and then what would remain? Would my memories fade slowly away? Means, why Everest? Here, in this, Aluwalia says that a question arises why he chose to climb Everest. Of these thoughts led me to a question myself as to why people climb mountains. It is not easy to answer the questions. The simplest answer would be as others have said, but it is there. It presents great difficulties. Man takes delight in overcoming obstacles. The obstacles in climbing a mountain are physical. A climb to a summit means endurance, persistence, and willpower. Endurance means the capacity of something to last. Persistence means the fact of continuing in an opinion. The demonstration of these physical qualities is no doubt exhilarating as it was for me also. Exhilarating means very excited. Means other summit. He came to the conclusion that in order to climb a summit, a person needed three qualities. These are endurance, persistence, and willpower. It is only with the help of these qualities that a man overcomes obstacles. The climbing of a summit is thus a demonstration of these three qualities. That is why men take delight in overcoming obstacles. That is why he feel very exhilarating means excited or exciting. I have a more personal answer to the question from my childhood. I have been attracted by mountains. I had been miserable lost when away from mountains in the plains. Mountains are nature at its best. Their beauty and majesty pose a great challenge. And like many, I believe that mountains are a mean of communion means communication with God. On the question of why he chose to climb the Everest, he says that he loves the mountains. As Mount Everest is the highest of them all, and it is a great struggle against rock and ice to climb it. He finds it very challenging. He says that he has a strong urge to face the challenges and overcome the obstacles. Also, to him, the joy of climbing Mount Everest is too much, as only a few can manage to do so or do this. He adds here that climbing Everest is not just a physical achievement but also is an emotional and spiritual experience. This success has brought him fame and also fulfillment. Once having granted this question, remains. Why Everest? Because it is the highest, the mightiest, and has defied many previous attempts. It takes the last ounce of one's energy. It is a brutal struggle with rock and ice. Once taken up, it cannot be given halfway, even when one's life is at stake. The passage back is as difficult as the passage onwards, and then when the summit is climbed there is the exhilaration means excitement, exciting, the joy of having done something, the sense of a battle fought and won. There is a feeling of victory and happiness. Means he says that the first reason is that he always loved mountains. Everest is the highest and the mightiest of all them all. It is a greatest struggle against rock and ice. So after climbing this summit, there is a joy of having done something which only a few can do. And after getting that, you feel very exciting that you have fought some battle or won that battle. And the feeling, it feels like it is a victory of happiness, that you have achieved something great. Glimpsing a peak in the distance means standing from the peak or even glimpsing at one. I get transported to another world. I experience a change within myself, which can only be called mystical. Means looking at the peak from a distance, Ahluwalia is transported to another world. He has a mystical, means spiritual feeling. By its beauty, it's is used here for Mount Everest. Aloofness means quality, might ruggedness means wrinkled and roughly broken. And the difficulties encountered on the way, I was attracted to it. Still, the answer is not fully explained. Why I climbed Everest? It is like answering a question: why do you help your neighbor? Why do you want to do good acts? There is no final answer possible. And then there is the fact that Everest is not just a physical climb. It makes us realize your own smallness in this large universe. So, climbing on the Everest, it is a great achievement. So this is the story of the first part. Students, you have to complete your homework on the basis of the chapter explained by me. And your homework is read chapter 5, that is the summit within, and write word meanings highlighted in the video. Based on the understanding of the chapter, write the answers of the questions mentioned in the book Honeydew as page number 79, comprehension check, question number 1 to 3. This you have to do in your book only. Page number 80, working with the text, question number 1. So you have to do part 1 to 5 in your notebook. Since many students are not having their book with them, so here in this video I have mentioned the homework in detail. So let's see comprehension check, which is on page number 79. Question number 1 is, standing on Everest, the writer was number 1, overjoyed, number 2, very sad, number 3, jubilant and sad. Choose the right item. Question number 2 is, the emotion that gripped him was one of. Number 1 is victory over hurdles. Number 2 is humility and a sense of smallness. Number 3 is greatness and self-importance. Number 4 is joy of discovery. Choose the right item. Question number 3 is, the summit of the mind refers to number 1, great intellectual achievements. Number 2, the process of maturing mentally and spiritually. Number 3, overcoming personal ambition for common welfare. Number 4, living in the world of thought and imagination. Number 4, the trump of mind over worldly pleasures for a noble cause. Number 6, a fuller knowledge of oneself. Mark the item not relevant. So let's see working with the text, which is on page number 80. Question number 1 is, answer the following questions. Part 1. What are the 3 qualities that played a major role in the author's climb? Number 2. Why is adventure, which is risky, also pleasurable? Number 3. What was it about Mount Everest that the author found irresistible, means too attractive? Number 4. One does not do it, means climb a high peak for fame alone. What does one do it for, really? 5th is, he becomes conscious in a special manner of his own smallness in this large universe. This awareness defines an emotion mentioned in the first paragraph, which is the emotion. So this is the end of the lecture, and you have to do these question answers in your fair notebook by following the correct format. Students, if you like our videos, please hit on the like button and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.